Today we're taking a look at the Be Quiet PureRock Pro 3 Dual Tower Air Cooler. Thanks to Be Quiet for sending this one over for us to take a look at. The PureRock Pro 3 cooler is a mid-sized dual tower cooler featuring 6 total heat pipes, each heat pipe being 6 millimeters in diameter. The included fans with this heatsink are the PureWings 3 120mm PWM fans. The cooler with both of these fans is rated at a maximum sound output of about 34.8 dBA, which is relatively quiet considering this heatsink design is rated for 250 watts worth of TDP cooling, according to Be Quiet. In my opinion, that's a whole lot of cooling capability for a sub 35 dBA sound profile, so I'll be interested to test that out. Each of the PureWings 3 fans are pushing about 49.9 CFM at a static pressure rating of about 1.45 millimeters to H2O at full speed, according to Be Quiet. Since these fans are relatively quiet, even when installed on the PureRock Pro 3, that means you can generally spin these fans a little bit faster without giving up or compromising too much in the sound department. The fans use the tried and true clip design in order to attach to the towers, which is good because it does allow for offsetting that first fan, which really came in handy for my setup. I ended up needing to adjust that fan in order to fit the Acer Predator memory kit I was using, as the heatsinks are a bit tall on that memory kit. The tower on the VRM side of the board has a decent amount of clearance. I didn't have any issues with my Gigabyte motherboard. It has one of those built-in VRM heatsink I/O massive shroud all-in-one designs, so I was happy with that. As for compatibility, this heatsink is about 155 millimeters tall, by the way. Definitely make sure you verify case compatibility before you purchase one of these, but 155 millimeters tall, good in my opinion. I think that'll fit in most gaming PC cases. As for the actual installation, I would rate the Be Quiet PureRock Pro 3 as relatively easy. As is standard for most coolers, you start with the removal of the AM5 brackets, you install your spacers, the mounting bars, and then you basically just need to install the heatsink on top of those. It is worth mentioning, like most dual tower coolers, you do need to take out that middle fan in order to screw that heatsink onto the mounting mechanism. So don't install the fan first like I did, and then struggle to remove it if it's inside of your case. Pro tip. As for performance of this heatsink, I tested the cooler out on my Ryzen 7700X RTX 4070 Super build. As for the 7700X, when you're using the default BIOS settings on most motherboards, this CPU is really only limited by power and cooling capability. These CPUs are basically programmed to just skyrocket all the way up to 95C, depending on power and cooling. So when I look at CPU coolers, I definitely want to see how much heat they're able to remove away from the CPU to let that automatic overclocking algorithm try to get that clock speed up nice and high. So what I looked for in the testing was the average clock speed, and of course the sound output. The testing application will be Prime 95 with the smallest FFT testing, or the max heat load and max stress. This is way more power and way more heat that you're basically ever going to see doing anything else, but I do like to get an idea for the maximum cooling capability of the coolers that I test. For the first test, I set the fan speeds to about 60% speed. I recorded the sound output of the entire system at about 24.5 dBA worth of sound output with my S23 about 30 inches away from the computer. Perhaps not scientific, but it was good enough for my testing. With the fans spinning at 60%, there was definitely some throttling, and the average clock speed was about 4.6 gigahertz. Again, this will be way higher in games, or pretty much doing any other application. Prime 95 is pretty tough on your CPU. I did want to get an idea for 100% fan speed or maximum performance for this cooler though. So I raised the fan speed up to 100% in the BIOS, and I took a look. The average clock speed across all the cores raised up to about 4.8 gigahertz. So definitely a nice improvement there just for tweaking the fan speed. That definitely demonstrates that this cooler definitely has some chops to it. As for the sound output, that did raise to about 33 to 34 dBA. But in my opinion, that's a reasonable trade-off, and I would definitely consider a higher fan speed on this heatsink. In my opinion, I would say that this cooler is definitely more than enough for your average Ryzen 7 CPU. I would probably even say this cooler is fine on like a 7900X or 9900X, probably any of the Ryzen 9s as well, especially when you consider that Be Quiet is really rating this cooler at about 250 watts worth of TDP cooling capability. As far as the looks go for this heatsink, definitely subjective, but in my opinion, I think it looks good. I like the subtle Be Quiet branding, and I really don't mind the silver version that I have here today. But you can pick this up in an all blacked out version and an LX or RGB version. I would definitely say after handling this cooler, installing it and uninstalling it, and basically just looking at it for a little bit, the cooler definitely does not feel cheap in terms of construction or materials, and it definitely seems like it's a solid performer. So I definitely like this one. So I definitely think this is a pretty competitive air cooling solution. For what it's worth, this cooler is definitely a little bit lighter than the Darkrock Pro 5 that I reviewed a while back. This cooler is rated for slightly less cooling capacity. I think that cooler was rated at like 270 watts TDP, but you can definitely see there's some diminishing returns there because that cooler was, I want to say, almost a whole pound heavier. Definitely better in terms of maximum performance, but I think if you're worried about cooler weight, or you just don't have a large case, or you want to keep a little bit of extra room around the cooler, the PureRock Pro 3 is definitely a solid cooler as far as its total volume and performance goes. As for pricing, right now it looks like the PureRock Pro 3 is coming in at about $60 on Amazon for the silver version that I have here today. You can get a totally blacked out version. That version of the cooler is coming in at about $65 it looks like, and the RGB version, or the LX model, is about $75. Those prices definitely are subject to change, but given that kind of pricing and the performance that I saw, I really think that this cooler is a super awesome value for gamers on a budget. If you don't need water cooling, or you just don't want to use water cooling in your system, but you still want to get some solid CPU cooling performance, I would definitely steer you towards this heatsink. And I really like that it comes in a couple of different color and RGB variants. If you want to learn more about this cooler, or purchase one for your next build, I'll leave an affiliate link in the description below, so definitely head down there and check that out. If this video helped you out with your cooler choice, smashing that like button will tell YouTube to share this video with other PC gamers who are researching CPU coolers, so I'd appreciate it. Gaming PC and component videos like this one are basically what I create around here. If you're into that kind of thing, get subscribed to the channel and ring that bell for notifications. There's quite a bit of content on the channel already, feel free to browse. Until the next one, keep on gaming.